there'd be many who would rightfully argue that Meghan Markle has caused more damage and hurt to the British royal family than anyone else in recent times. She claims that title by a country mile. She is the modern-day Wallis Simpson. Last week, Variety magazine released an interview with Meghan Markle on, quote, grieving Queen Elizabeth II's death. According to Richard Eden, the Daily Mail's diary editor, she showed absolutely no remorse for the anguish she must surely have created for the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh during their final years. Eden said Meghan Markle should have apologised in the interview for the, quote, hard times, unquote, she and her husband Prince Harry visited upon the Queen and Prince Philip via, quote, their interviews about and insults towards the royal family, unquote. Well, needless to say, Meghan Markle didn't apologise. Instead, she politicised the legacy of the late Queen, saying, quote, what's so beautiful is to look at the legacy that his grandmother was able to leave on so many fronts. Certainly in terms of female leadership, she's the most shining example of what that looks like, unquote. Now, forget the tabloid language. What does she mean, female leadership? What on earth does the late Queen's gender have to do with her remarkable leadership, legacy and service to Britain and the wider Commonwealth? How would you know? In the Meghan Markle thought bubble, it's invariably about her. She spent a significant part of the interview talking about the Me Too movement that's demonised men right across the world. And of course, she went on about her acting career and her future in Hollywood. Does either exist? She mourned the fact that she, quote, didn't grow up pretty. Well, she got that right. There's nothing pretty about always playing the victim. Meghan Markle is all about sexism, racism and every other ism parroted around by woke activists who live in multi-million-dollar mansions in gated communities. This is not what the royal family is supposed to be about. As the Queen demonstrated throughout a remarkable life, being a royal for her was about service and humility and being above politics and so-called progressive political ideologies. I think that word should be regressive, but about respect for tradition and the institutions that made Britain the once most powerful nation in the world. But none of that for Miss Markle. Not that she would know anything about British institutions and traditions anyway, let alone royal tradition. Of course, she won't apologise for the trouble both she and her husband visited upon Harry's grandparents. She has so little self-awareness, she seems incapable of thinking of anyone but herself. I'm sure I share the sentiments of many when I say I wish she'd keep her head down and stick to her vanity endorsements from woke celebrities. It is the royal family she seems to hate. The irony is, she would command no attention at all if she hadn't married into it. Far from King Charles pulling them both into line, he'd be best served by stripping them of their titles.